Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading room. Hang on here just a moment. Get the screen share going on. I hope you had an enjoyable weekend. They're always so short. Oh, well. Here we go. Time to make some money. Time to get busy. All right, here let's do a little bit of overview. For that, I often like to look at my daily chart, kind of give me a perspective. You can see for the last two and a half weeks or so, the market has been relatively quiet, very tiny ranges. Um, Last Friday, it looks like it was a big, well, relatively big rally bar. This is a big rally bar, but compared to what we have been having, uh, it was a rally, but it was still very much a seesaw kind of day. I think this must incorporate some of the Sunday morning session because there's a little bit more of a gap here. We're starting to trade at around 72 and we left off at around 7100 on Friday. I think technically it was 7155 or something like that. Anyway, yes, we do have a little bit of a downside gap, but the market's still looking a little bit bullish. This is what concerns me, though. You can see where we are here. The market got knocked down a few times before, and we're still waiting on it. Still hasn't happened. There's sellers lurking somewhere. We'll find them, or they'll find us. All right, it's still very early, but for those of you who like your early signals, early birds, if you will, here's a number 3 signal on the Raptor. And so far, that's the only one I think that is in sync. We don't have an eagle signal yet. The Falcon actually giving us a sell signal here. We just produced a trend change signal on the Falcon. Yeah, Frank makes a good point here. He says it looks like this may be a great big bear flag on the daily chart, and that has occurred to me as well. We get this sideways range going on. It's a monster pullback, but the tendency would be to see a bear break from there. You can also draw a little mini trend line here. Which gives it a little bit more of a wedge appearance, doesn't it? Good way to amuse myself without doing anything silly. Yeah, Frank says there may be support around 6,600. That, of course, a long way down. In the meantime, the market waffling here a little bit, fairly content. The hawk getting a little bit bullish again here on the Raptor. Like I said, we had that number 3 signal, a pair of them actually. And it looks like we may get a little bit of bullish follow through. The Bollinger's in sync now down here. There we go. Getting a little bit of push. Still very early, actually very quiet for a Monday morning start. Take a look here at the Eagle. Aha, the Eagle looking like, I would call this a rather large trading zone. That's how it looks to my eye anyway. And once we identify a trading zone, well, then we can look for the breakout, the retest. We can wait for the market to kind of get itself in a bit of a bind. And then look to trade it accordingly. All right, here we are back now to the hard edge. Where we anticipate the market to give us some sort of reaction. Okay, and here now with yet another number 3 signal. All right, what time is it? It's sneaking up on the quarter to the hour mark. I'm going to take a look at buying the next breakout higher, or if we get a second push opportunity. The second push simply means I allow the signal to engage, which it has. I wait for it to pull back, which it has not. All right, so now I'm going to throw my order in here just above those highs. I'll adjust my profit target slightly. There we go. Now you need to remember with your trade calculator that your orders are live the moment you put them on your chart. So watch your stop that you don't get tagged inadvertently. The Bollinger's in sync now. And I'm hoping if we get a breakout here, this is not going to turn into a triple top. That would be bad. Okay, definitely a confirmation of resistance here now around 72.08. You see how we've got at least a couple of bear bars? That tells me that there's some pretty active selling up there. And it kind of puts the strain on the buyers now. If the buyers cannot recover the market, there is a good chance that it will head lower and try to take out the bottom end of this trading range. So I'm preparing for that, preparing for a possible short here if the market reverses and heads lower. So it's all up to the buyers now. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get that follow through. Come on. Sellers now pushing back. And you can see we have another resistance zone here at 72.12. But I think these highs here was actually a little bit of an early reaction to that 72.12 zone. Oh, and we're sneaking up on that quarter to the hour mark, my least favorite time of the day to trade. Currently, I'm 2 swings back. I would consider this a swing. So there's swing 1, there's swing 2. And we can draw a little trend line here, try to hold the market up. Here, we'll make it nice and heavy. That way the market can't break through. Throw up a couple lines. Come on. It's pretty quiet, for a breakout. That is pretty quiet. So the next bull bar I get, I'm rolling my stops. There should have been more follow through here. Come on, give me a bullish bar, you crazy market. All right, so there's my bull bar. I'm going to bring my stops up now. Like I said, this kind of do or die for the buyers. If they don't pull it together here, the market will reverse. So I may as well take the early stop out if they are not going to keep going up. And now I will roll below this bar here with that little tail to it. Bring the trend lines up to help support the market. Come on, get above 72.12. No! Nope. Oh, we're kind of in the thick of it here now. All right, so let's close that out. And that was our breakout from our trading range, which we identified back here. If I get a full bear bar, ideally 2 bear bars, I will throw a just in case order to buy above there. But the fact the market did not go higher really opens up the possibility of a short I don't think we're going to get a number 2 signal just yet. But you can see here the hawk turning, well, at least the hawk Bollinger is turning a little bit bearish. But now that we've had the breakout, the market is kind of putting itself in a bit of a bind. I hope it doesn't turn out I managed that trade a little too quickly. That would be bad. There's nothing more annoying than getting tagged for a small loss only to watch the market go back to your profit target. All right, a little bit of a test of the extreme going on here now, at least in the Raptor. We may now come back with a number 2 signal, and I would be open to shorting that. We did get a trend change signal at the same time the number 3 signal printed here on the Falcon and the Raptor, both kind of in sync there. And of course, the Hawk, no problem with that first micro macro cross signal. Okay, the Raptor will be one of the first tools to give you a counter trend signal. We do have a teeny tiny retest of the extreme. We could be coming back here with a number 2 signal to short. So there it is. Here it comes. There's the warning dot. I'm going to throw an order in right here below that little swing. This is going to be my just in case order. I'm anticipating that if this bar finishes on the low, it will produce that signal to short. Oh, okay. Well, it produced the signal. For whatever reason, it did not print as a number 2. Visually, however, it is a number 2 signal. Tiny little, I guess there weren't enough bars between here and the retest, but that's what it is, what we have going on. The Bollinger is in sync to the short side. I know the market is struggling to get higher. I can see that visually. We're taking a little bit of a bounce here off of 72.12. My buy not working out, so I'm going to try it to the short side. A lot of times in trading, you can do that. Actually, I'll stretch this out a little bit. Where if the market isn't responding one way, there's a good chance it's going to try to go the opposite direction. So we got a little bit of room here now. Ooh, actually, there's a little bit of giddy up there. Okay, we've hit our profit objective. I'm stretching it out for a couple more dollars. And there's a bit of an upside gap here this morning. If you wanted to be really aggressive, you could certainly try to take it down to, even 71.82. And I'm going to just take my profit here if I can get it. I'm going to put the squeeze on the trade now. Let's see, we're getting a little bit of pushback from the buying that occurred down here. Actually, if it breaks here, the market will probably head down to here. So why don't I try to stretch it out a little bit more? I've taken it this far. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this low right here, This is where the rally began this morning, so I'm looking for the market to recover to the lows of the morning. And I will roll bar for bar. And I'll keep an eye here on my Bollingers. They're very often a good indication when the market is going to slow somewhat. The Bollingers will get, or the indicator will get back within the Bollingers there. Let's squeeze it here. So now at the next resistance zone, and you can see we're hesitating slightly. All right, hooray. Hit the resistance line on the number and took a little bit of a bounce there. Hooray for us. Okay, now as I like to remind you, trading is not about, or making money trading is not about trading more often. Huge misconception in the trading world. So many people equate trading with other ways to make money, where the more you do, the more you earn. Well, that's not so true in the trading world. In fact, the trading world, it usually has the exact opposite effect. Hey, way to go, Ray. Ray said, I scalped that trade, got 120 bucks. Nicely done. So here I am this morning. I took two trades. First trade was a small loss, a little $40 loser. Next trade was a decent trade, offset my losing trade and left me with about $130 to the good. So if I'm trading, say, a two trade quota, I have met my trade quota for the day. I've traded as many times as I want to, 2 times, and I'm walking away with a profit. I'm making at least $100 on the day per contract. Now, the power of math goes to work for you, because if you can do that on single contracts, well, you can do it on multiple contracts as well. So, right, $100 not, or 130 bucks, not that much money. Nice dinner out. But let's say you were trading 3 contracts. Well, now all of a sudden that's $390, isn't it? Just shy of 400. What if you're trading 5 contracts? Well, now that's $650. That's where you make the money. Yeah, Frank asks, so how about trading for a profit amount per day? I like $100. $100 per day. It's a reasonable objective. You can either do it by doing 2 $50 trades or one $100 trade. Now, we're going to ignore commissions and fees right now. Commissions and fees, not the obstacle that they were 20 years ago, where we would be paying anywhere from $70 to $100 round turn and happy to get it. The discount brokers were only charging $40. If you can, I think having a trade quota of $100 per day, or setting like a trade limit, like 2 trades or 3 trades, or a combination of the two, it does a lot of things for you. First off, it helps you focus. If you know you're only going to do two $50 trades today, you're going to be picky, right? Let's say you're trading your hawk, and you open up, and this is the kind of stuff you're looking at. You know, a lot of sideways, a lot of back and forth. The market doesn't seem to have any direction to it. Are you going to take the next signal? Well, maybe not, right? Wouldn't it be easier to take a signal maybe like this, where the market is already showing some sort of momentum, or you know what I mean? You can wait for a better opportunity, something that you've come to rely on because you've spent the time looking at your charts, and you can say, yeah, okay, here's my signal that this kind of meets my parameters. I'm going for it. You know, my Bollingers are in sync. It's a first micro macro cross, whatever your criteria are, and you can take that trade with a great deal of confidence. Like Mark said the other day, you learn to find your sweet spot. So if you're only looking to take 2 trades a day, you're going to be a lot pickier. You're not going to be chasing the market around wondering, oh, gee, you know, here I'm working a green bar sell. Should I trade that? Well, I don't know. You know, this is a little bit of a sideways mess. Likewise, if you're looking at $100 trade and you're looking at your hawk or your hawk, your falcon, or your raptor, or even your eagle for that matter, you're maybe going to hold out for a slightly better looking opportunity. You're not going to be chasing everything around. $100 a day, approximately 200 trading days in a year. That's $20,000 a year trading a single contract for $100 profit a day. Some days you'll do better, of course. Some days you may struggle. You know, not every day is profitable. Here's the trader view account for the room. And you can see, you know, there we had a couple of days here where we finished in the red, not dramatically so. This was the worst day here, $260. So again, that's relative. These are single contracts. If we were trading 3 contracts, well, that's what, $780 loss on the day. But if you can afford to trade 3 contracts, an $800 loss isn't going to wipe you out. But here's the kicker. Here's the important part. Okay, so last 30 days, cumulative profit just over $7,300. Over 90 days, just over, well, $25,600. Now those are trading days, of course, not calendar days. But look at the win percent. Show me another trader who has, and I'm not saying this to boast, but this is what a trading quota will do for you. Look at how many days we are 100% correct on our trading over the last 90 trading days. At least half, right? At least half the trading days, we are right 100% of the time. That's because we use a trade quota and we stop trading after our quota is hit. And these days here with these smaller bars, see there's a win ratio of 33%. That could be one of the losing days because only 1 in 3 trades was working out. Here's a win ratio, again, of 33%. But that's how you're going to control your trading. That's how you're going to increase your earnings. That's how you're going to become profitable. Not by chasing the market around, trying to take 10 trades a day and hoping that 8 of them work out. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah, like Mark says, not too shabby. Well, thanks, Mark. And again, I'm not showing that to boast because, well, first off, legally, I'm not allowed to boast, but I'm showing it to you because you can see day after day after day that it is possible. There's, like I said, about 20 trading days in a month, so 90 trading days is about 3.5 months of trading. No, sorry, 4.5. 4.5 months of trading. So we're a little bit ahead of the curve here. But, I've referred to it as the best kept secret on Wall Street. In my opinion, for the small trader, that is the best way to make money. Forget the high frequency stuff. Forget trying to trade the the arbitrage. Days were that you could do that, you really, really, really have to focus. Oh my gosh, that is not an easy way to trade. We used to call it trading for teenies, where you you'd be watching stocks trying to trade for a 16th by capitalizing on the discrepancy in the spread of the market itself. All right, we've got our sideways trading range. We've got a breakout. I've got a couple of bear bars now against the breakout. This is my just in case order to buy. But notice here how we have also broken the low, this prior swing. What tends to happen is the market will tend to give us 2 moves in the direction of the breakout. So this is move number 1 now. Looking now for move number 2. The problem is, if this is indeed a test of the extreme and the move is beginning, I need to short up here to have any kind of advantage. Because you can see if we're doing a measured move type trade, the market is just going to recover back here somewhere near the lows. If I try to short down here, I have really nothing left on my profit side. So a little bit of an aggressive type trade. I'm going to take a look here at the other tools. I suspect that somebody has given me a short signal. Oh, well, okay. The Raptor is going to come back here with a number 2 signal, perhaps. The Falcon, well, not yet. So I'm kind of basing this a little bit on market structure, a little bit, like I said, maybe on the aggressive side entry-wise. Exit order, like I showed you, that measured move will be down here somewhere near these previous lows. So 71.95. Let's not make it work quite that hard. Okay, let's see what we get. And you can see how every time you go back to the market, you just open up that possibility of another losing trade. So you want to be choosy. You want to really pick your moments. I have my reasons for attempting a short here, but the band is bullish, so this is clearly counter trend. There's that number 2 signal on the Raptor, so that's at least a little bit encouraging. The Falcon now trend line changing. We're going to get a trend change signal. Here's a follow-up number 2 signal on the Raptor. Bollinger's on the Falcon and Raptor now in sync. Here comes the Hawk. It's kind of lining up, getting ready for a possible red bar buy, which tends to develop near the end of a trend. Come on. I'm really trying hard to be patient with this one. We've encountered the hard edge. You can see the ATRs are probably giving us a little bit of hassle. The Bollinger's in sync now. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, Mark says you're on pace for a $75,000 year. I am too. All right, at this point, I'm going to roll my stops and come on. Don't push back yet. Put the squeeze on this. Come on. It's just another tick. Look at that. They kissed the profit target. Get down there, you stinkers. All right. Remember to close out your other orders. The market, I suspect, will trickle below here. Remember, we did that little measured move thing where, so I anticipate the markets get somewhere down here, maybe around 71.92-ish. I don't like trying to grab the last nickel out of the trade. Well, if I wasn't done before, I am certainly, or would certainly be done now. And here we are, just about a little more than half hour into today's trading range. I think it's beneficial to have, the mindset as well, where you are taking what the market is giving. You can't make the market give you anything. Okay, now a little bit of a pushback again from the 71.94 half resistance line. Another reason I took the profit a touch earlier. Well, a little bit more follow through there. Like I said, there was a rather large gap from left over from Friday's session, so I wonder if they're going to try to get into that. That's big. Here again, the daily. Stop it. And remember, we had that little trend line up there. Even if we break this trend line, there's going to be some selling going on. Like I said, last time we were here, look at the result. Big move lower. Likewise here. Started small, but look at that leg lower. Same thing here. Look at just monster moves lower. There is, I think a lot of traders are waiting for the other shoe to drop, really. They know there's active selling up there. Yeah, Frank's thinking, yeah, bear flag on the daily, breakout maybe down to 6,600. Not today, of course, no, but maybe coming soon, I think. I think you could be right. All right, nice follow through on that number one signal. Good follow through on the Falcon trend chain signal as well. I admit the market went further than I anticipated. I did not think it would get down here to the next resistance zone at 71.82, at least not right away. I did think it would hold up here around 71.94 a little bit more than it did. That's okay. If it's tipped its hand that we are going to be more in a downtrend today, I think we're going to get an opportunity here off one of the hard edges. We had a macro pullback signal here on the hawk, but it got spoiled by the yellow bar. So we'll just have to sit and wait for a little bit. Okay, a little bit of a pushback here. All right, well, we're still kind of bouncing around here, back and forth. The buyers waking up, I think, maybe a little bit surprised at how the market pushed lower. We have had the two moves lower now. Remember how I said when we break a significant swing point, we can expect two moves. There's move one, there's move two. Some traders are going to be looking at this and say, whoa, there's a swing right there. There's move one. Where now is move two? So we may actually get another leg lower out of this. We'll have to see. All right, here we are in the hard edge of the Raptor band. We're getting a little bit of a bear flag type thing going on. Next sell signal will be a number 3 signal here on your Raptor. The Falcon and the Hawk both turning bullish though, so we're getting some mixed signals to be sure. I wonder whether this is going to be resistance now. You know how they say old support becomes new resistance. Well, we're in slow motion again. Yeah, Frank says maybe it'll retest the high and then decide where it wants to go. Remember, technically, we're still inside this larger trading range, right? This is how we highlighted the trading range early on. This was the breakout, then the failed breakout, which is why we decided to short. But technically, we're right back inside the middle of this trading range, which is making it difficult. Right, with trading ranges, we are looking to short up here, and we are looking to buy down here. Anywhere in the middle really is no man's land. All right, let's put that away. Stuck on the hard edge. First micro macro cross on the hawk, so we're kind of sweating that. No signal on the falcon yet, but it's trying. It's getting there. Oh, look at that. All right, the hawk making its target. The falcon now producing a trend change signal, but given the bearishness of this last move, I think I would require a second push. Now, oftentimes, when the market does that, it may end up leaving you holding the bag. If you're waiting for that second push, it may not come. I'm still not convinced that we're not going to get a hard edge bounce. thinking about it. We're kind of in the top third of this prior trading range. I bet if I draw a trend line across there, we may be getting close to a trend line as well. No, yeah, there's enough room in there for sure there is to reach that trend line. I guess, looking at it in hindsight, nice to know my hindsight's still 2020. As the market once again trying to get a little bit more bullish here, you Raptor traders, this is why it's useful for you to identify signals apart from the signal prompts. This was a number 2 signal, this one right here. Now you may be asking, why did it not print as a number 2 then, Eric? Well, it didn't print as a number 2 probably because the test of the extreme was not deep enough. You can adjust the sensitivity of your Raptor settings. So you need to find your Raptor. Here we go. So you highlight your Raptor in your assortment. Then you want to find, here we are, signal parameters SE. This is your soft edge signal, your number 2 signal. The extreme retest sensitivity, by default it is 1.01. The higher you make this value, the more number 2 signals you will include. A lot of times I'll change it to 1.25. But for our purposes here, it seems like the defaults are working reasonably well, so I'll stay with that. The minimum bar or minimum retest bar setup, the lower you make this value, the more number 2 signals you will produce. So if you don't feel comfortable calling this on your own, the system can prompt you. If you adjust it a little bit, it will pick up this additional number 2 signal. Be careful, however, you don't want it pointing out every counter trend signal. You don't want to make it quite that aggressive. Well, here we go with the back and forth again. Now, what would be interesting, you're just playing with the Eagle chart a little bit. If we do this measured move concept, if in fact traders are looking at this swing as the breakout, if this is where the market is now beginning its next leg lower, looks like we could be down here to around 71.75-ish. What do we have down there? Resistance-wise, 71.70 is primary resistance. That certainly looks inviting. Here now on the Eagle, we're getting the hard edge green bar sell. All right, let's demonstrate. Oh, we're going to have to do it on a market order. All right, there we go. I'm okay with my profit target here, but let's bring this down here. See if that measured move is truly going to hold. We're going to get some pushback as we get to the bottom end of this trading range, no question about that. All right, probably have enough in there that I can roll my stops at least above that last swing. This is the eagle, of course. I do have a tendency to be a little bit more aggressive with the eagle. Another bear bar, and I think I'm going to get really aggressive with my stops. So the Raptor also producing the hard edge bounce. Not printing again as a number 3 signal because we kind of went through the hard edge here a little bit, but that's what it is. It's a hard edge bounce. So whenever we encounter the hard edge, we anticipate some sort of reaction. All right, at this point, I'm going to take the trade now to break even. And as we get closer to where our high probability profit target was, remember a lot of times the market will react around that zone. So don't be shy about tightening up your stops. In fact, if this next bar finishes bearish, I will, you know what, I'm going to start rolling bar for bar. This is the eagle after all, and these are 12 tick bars, so I've got a little bit more in play. And we've got a decent profit showing right now. You can see we're almost to our high probability objective. Getting a little bit of a reaction. We need this bar here to finish bearish, and that would have found our high probability target. No! A little bit of an early pushback. Again, bottom end trading range. I know I sound like a broken record sometimes, but the markets do the same thing over and over and over again. And once you're familiar with that, well, there really isn't that much to talk about. Hooray for us. Nice little trade. And there's still room here to move lower to get down to that primary resistance line. And seeing a little bit of a pushback off of the, or near the lows. Next Raptor signal, by the way, now that the clouds are back in sync, will be a number one signal to short. We're working a trend change signal here on the Falcon. One thing that does concern me a little bit is that the signal may produce away from the trend line. That doesn't negate the signal. You can see it happened here as well. But you should be aware when those signals produce away from the trend line, there will be a tendency for the market to move back to the trend line. So you can handle that a couple of ways. You can look at either doing a second push, wait for the signal to engage, let the market flinch, get back to that trend line, or you can run a deeper stop. Run a very deep stop, knowing that there could be a pullback. It's almost as though there's some more bullishness coming in now. I don't know if I want to call that a second push just yet. Ideally, I want to see at least one bar. When the market starts moving slowly like this, I'd like to see two bars. And you can see why I like to see two bars now, because you get this little alternating fashion as the market searches for the bottom. You don't want to be brought in too early. All right, there now we have the two bars against. And I will entertain a short below here, although the Bollinger is now out of sync. Let's see what else is going on here. No. Okay, they're not ready. All right, let's turn that off, put that away before I do something silly. All right, back into the hard edge. We should anticipate another reaction, but the market's starting to look sideways to me again. I don't know how aggressive I want to be on another short. Ray says, over the weekend I had some time to load some playback data on last week Friday. I had time to test some ideas using certain settings on the trade calculator, which was very helpful. You know, that's really the best way to learn to use your tools. Get into sim mode and just start playing with them. You won't break them. Believe me, I if anybody's going to break stuff, it's going to be me. Yeah, we're very sideways, getting another number one signal here. All right, the trend does seem to be down. We've got a hard edge bounce here on the eagle as well. There's, maybe not the best looking trade here today, but we are in a trade training room. So let's take a look, see if we can't get some follow through. I'm basing this trade mostly on the trend, that the trend does seem to be down today. We are making lower swing highs. And of course, the market will have a tendency to try to get down here toward the primary resistance. The Bollinger is also in sync on this trade. And this is a sticky point right here. In fact, I'll take the trade to break even. Maybe premature. I do believe the market will head lower here, but not before we get a pushback. All right. Did not quite work out according to plan. But it wasn't a losing trade, so can't complain about that. Not a bad start to the week, though. Yeah, see, here they go. I was a little bit quick with the stop. Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! Oh well. It happens. We'll stay with the room here for a few minutes more. I don't think we're going to see another really good opportunity before we close things up. Although sometimes things shake up going into the lunch hour. Here they go, trying to make another push at the lows. There they go. Well, that was unfortunate. I chickened out. What can I say? trickle down continues. Okay, well, we still got that downward bent. I think the buyers are going to show up here, I suspect, near the primary resistance zone. We're going to get some buying going on. So there's a little bit of room left here to short. However, I think you don't want to get too bearish. Dare I say that? The trend definitely down today. Somewhere, however, there's going to be a bit of a pushback. That seems to be the way the market has been trading lately, right? Here's our daily chart. Stop it. Oh, really? Come on. Where we get all these little bars, right? We get these ranges, and look at how most of the days the day settles fairly neutral. So a little bit of a bear push here, definitely feasible. Fill that morning gap, and then maybe a little bit of a pushback and yet another doji bar to add to the collection. That's what I would think is going to happen. We'll see. And on that note, if no one has any other questions, I think we're going to close up shop here for the morning, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye for now.